So what's up, lads and lassies? I have my Silvia here misfiring, and I just said I'd do a quick video talking you through how to spot a misfire on something old that you can't diagnose with computers or anything like that. So here we go, let's jump into it. So obviously you can see the engine is a bit rattly there, shaking. When I rev it up, very lumpy and clearly misfiring. So on a newer car, it's a lot easier to obviously diagnose a misfire, where it's coming from, all that sort of stuff. Look how cold this is, nice. Yeah, newer car, it's a lot easier to diagnose a misfire because you can plug in through OBD if it has an OBD scanner on it. OBD port, you can plug your OBD scanner in and check for fault codes, see which cylinder it's on. With an older car like this, a little bit harder to do, but I'm going to show you what we would do. So these are ignition coils, so they give spark to the engine, to the spark plugs. So the first step is we will take one of the ignition coils off the spark plugs and see if we can get the engine note, the sound of the engine, to change. Okay, so that cuts out, so it's not that cylinder. So then we come back here, try another cylinder. Again, same, engine changes, so it's not that cylinder. Come over here to number 3, take it off, engine stays the exact same, so that's the cylinder chasing. So now we've gone and we've narrowed down that cylinder 3 is our problem. So what do we do next? So we'll change the ignition coil from cylinder 3 and put it into cylinder 4. And if the fault goes from cylinder 3 to cylinder 4, then we have a faulty ignition coil. So the first 2 cylinders, we don't really need to do anything with that anymore. We can just focus on cylinder 3, which has the misfire, and cylinder 4, which doesn't have a misfire. So I'll take out this. This is cylinder number 4. And this, which is cylinder number 3. So I'm going to put the coil pack from cylinder number 3 back into the space for number 4. And then I take number 4 and put it where number 3 was. Now, clearly still misfiring. And again, back to the engine. So we have cylinder number 4 and cylinder number 3. So let's pull this off the spark plug and see is there a difference in the engine noise. So there we go. So there is a difference in the engine noise. So the misfire is not on this cylinder. So that's off the spark plug, and the misfire is still in cylinder number 3. So what that shows us then is that the coil pack on all of them are actually okay, because the misfire has hasn't changed from cylinder 3 to cylinder 4. That rules out the coil pack. So then the next step, we will do exactly what we've done there and try and rule out the spark plugs and see if it's the spark plug that makes the difference. So it's the spark plug from cylinder number 4. And then I'll take on the left here, we have the spark plug from cylinder number 3, and on the right, we have the spark plug from cylinder number 4. So we'll do exactly what we did with the coils, and we'll swap these over and then see, does the misfire go to cylinder number 4 or does it stay on cylinder number 3? Yeah. So again, back cylinder 3 and 4. What we're going to do is, okay, so cylinder 4 changes the note of the engine. Cylinder 3, no difference. So basically what happened there was we had misfire in cylinder number 3, which we found by taking out the coil pack. We swapped the coil pack from cylinder 3 to cylinder 4 with no difference. So that rules out the coil pack. So then what we did then after that was we swapped the spark plug from cylinder 3 to cylinder 4, and the misfire stayed in cylinder number 3. So that means that the misfire that's happening now isn't a coil pack and it isn't a spark plug. So spark isn't our issue. So with the 3 main things that an engine needs is fuel, spark and air. So basically we've ruled out the spark bit. So now we have air and we have fuel left to try. So ideally it would have been either a spark plug or a coil pack, because they're just the easiest things to replace. As you saw there, it only kind of took a few minutes to do. Now we have to go into digging deeper into the engine and see what the actual problem is. So, exact same as last time, we're going to take out the coil pack and the spark plug from cylinder 3 and cylinder 4. So, we'll break this lad out, which is an engine compression tester. So basically, we will be checking if inside the engine has enough air or compression to actually fire the cylinder. So what we need to do first, we need to find how we can make the car not run so we can actually just test air. So to do that, we come again to in the engine bay, the fuse box, and we check which fuse for the fuel pump. So clearly here we can see the middle fuse, 10 amp fuse for the fuel pump. So 10 amp fuse in the middle for the fuel pump. Take this fuse out. Now, so we have no fuel entering the engine, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to take it. Make sure that we have absolutely no fuel in the engine. I'm going to try and start it up and see what happens. It might start and cut out after a few seconds. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. The engine is cut out, the fuel pump isn't working, and there's no fuel in the engine. What this does is connects to where the spark plug will go. Put the focus in here. Nope, doesn't want to focus. So the spark plugs have been taken out. We connect this into where the spark plugs normally go, and then we check and see what sort of PSI that we have inside the cylinder, and that will tell us all about compression and the compression of the cylinder. So if we have no compression in the cylinder, obviously that's a bad thing, and the engine will have to be stripped down, and maybe a valve or something more serious will have to be changed. So let's hope there's compression. So now, booster pack on. Come to the engine, crank the engine. About 4 or 5 cranks maybe. Perfect, leave it at that. Knock it off. Come around here and check. So around 120 psi. Well, we know that a good cylinder is around 120, 125 psi. So, you know, we want about maybe 10% of that, 10-15% of that wood tolerances. So if it's lower than that, so basically if the cylinder 3 is under, you know, around maybe under 100 psi, then we have a problem. So I'll take it off cylinder number 4 and put it to cylinder number 3 and see how we get on. Again, back inside the car, crank it over a few times, and stop. Back around. Cylinder number 3 actually has more compression than cylinder number 4. So, compression is not our problem. Now, to recap. So, misfire on cylinder number 3. Change it over to cylinder number 4. Misfire stays in cylinder number 3. So we checked coil, we checked the spark plugs, and now we checked for compression. So we know that it's not a valve. It has all the air in compression in the engine. It has spark. So the next thing that's left is fuel. So now it's a matter of checking fuel injectors, and hopefully that fixes the problem. So let's see. Now, I've taken out the injector from cylinder 3 and replaced it. As you can see now, the car is absolutely perfect. No misfire at all. And the job is now done.